there.
It's not recorded.
Okay, yeah, you may want to read.
All right, we'll go ahead and recall this meeting to order. We'll go through the agenda real quick. Let's do some roll call. So we know who's not here, so we don't have Jeff. Liaison is Patrick there?
No, and he told us he wasn't gonna be here.
Okay,
So those are the only two missing.
Christine's missing.
No, she's not on, she resigned.
Resigned from committee.
Oh, when'd she do that?
Oh, you're
about a month ago.
While you were sick.
Okay.
All right, do we have any announcements? All right, I'll take the silence as no. Do we have any audience members there?
No.
No,
All right, so no question, comments from the audience members. All right, do we have consensus on approval of the August 8th, 2024 minutes? Is there anybody that has any changes to recommend?
that sounded like it.
No.
No,
Okay, fair enough. Well, then we have consensus on the minutes and we can move on to review and approval of the agenda. Is everyone okay with the agenda as written and the order that it's published? All right.
Yep.
We'll take silence as a yes as well. And moving on to item A, status reports on prior action items.
so Matt, we had talked about preparing a comprehensive list of all the action items we had discussed over, well, ever since we started. So I do have that, and I apologize, I didn't get that sent out. I just got it done this morning. So it's a list of all the action items that we've identified in all of our meetings up through the last meetings. And I sorted them by those that are kind of still open versus those that have been completed. So I apologize if I still have some of these shown as open, because I may not have known what action got taken on them, because in, prior meetings, when we go over action items, we kind of hit and miss discussing them. So this is again, the comprehensive list. I don't know if we want to go through these today one by one, or and you guys that are online can't see it, of course, so if you want to go through them, I can read what the items are, and then if people want to give input on where we stand, we could do that, and then maybe get these things cleaned up or move some of them into the completed category. So would you like to do that?
It's up to the group on this one.
But this list is a lot longer than.
Yeah.
Long list.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to,
I didn't realize we had so many open ones.
Yeah, we got 15 open ones, 3 pages here and 15 open ones. The rest are closed. Looks like about
Okay.
30 something that are closed.
most of the stuff's pretty minor. I don't know if we want to spend a bunch of time on this today and then not get to the regular agenda items. Maybe we should, until it's coming back in, we let him weigh in on that too. Maybe people can just take this and I can send this out. Email later today, and then maybe people can start looking at it. So this is the list of all the action items we've identified since day one. And so I got them sorted by those that are still open versus those that are completed.
Yeah.
And we were just talking, I don't know if we want to spend today's meeting going through these one by one. I just got this
Open
completed.
items that might be useful to go through just to check.
Yeah, real quick. The people online can't see this because I just passed it out today. I just got it done this morning and I didn't get a chance to send it out electronically.
Well, from your quick review of that, what is the most pressing?
Well, probably the ones that or most pressing is how we're gonna do the presentation to the council. On August 27th.
Okay,
You know, we had like, you know, Jeff was supposed to get the materials available. And Matt was gonna make the presentation, you know,
right.
so the last two are probably the critical ones we wanna just make sure
Okay,
are being addressed.
maybe we have time to address those today then?
Yeah, I think maybe we should discuss, just make sure we're on track for this August 27th presentation, or if we're postponing that to the next.
I submitted the staff recommendation yesterday. So it should be on the agenda.
Is that the form that Rocky gave us?
Yeah, anytime we want something on the agenda, we have to submit the staff recommendation, and it had to be done by end of business day yesterday, so I went ahead and submitted that.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I was gonna ask about that this morning. All right,
So what was the recommendation?
well, it's.
I recommended, yes, that they approve the new members, the charter, and then also the trail inspection form. And that's the only thing I didn't include in the packet, because I couldn't find it for some reason. So if someone could get me a copy of that, then I'll send it over to Rocky to include that also.
Okay, Matt, any update on putting that into a fillable type form, or is it's premature?
I will have it done by that meeting.
Okay, so we'll submit the cleanest draft. When I get back to home, I'll email that to you, Shay,
Okay, that sounds good.
and I'll copy Rocky on it as well.
All right, sounds good.
And then Matt, you're still the one that's gonna plan on presenting at the council.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
I'll make my triumphant return back to Village Hall.
Sure, you'd be welcome.
And then have we actually formally approved the charter?
No, I've got a final draft here. I want to make sure we agree on that before. So we know what we're supporting. I got a few comments back. I edited those, but I think we'll bring, that's in the agenda here, isn't it?
Well, no,
Not really.
because I think we were gonna approve it
Okay.
before, via email before this meeting, so I don't think we put it on this agenda, so maybe we
Okay.
should just be covering us on this in the
Yeah,
status reports.
Okay. good.
So do we need to, my only comment was, you did add Patrick's updated, okay,
Yes, I did.
so as long as that's in there, I think we're probably good.
All right, well, if we're good on that one, we can move on to item B. If everyone's in consensus, we can move on to discussion of the next steps for the Frankie Young Trail.
So do we wanna, since we're a status report, do you wanna quickly have a quick review of the charter one more time? So we submit it?
If we, I'm okay with that, absolutely.
Okay. That's all single lobby. Okay, so couple of modifications from last time, so I'll just quickly go over this for the everyone on the screen there. Purpose or mission is the Recreation Trails Committee to provide recommendations to Village Council regarding promotion, development, improvement, and management of the Trails Network and recreation facilities through collaboration with village residents, guests, and other organizations. And then, so I actually have a thought on that as I was driving down this morning, which I'll bring up. So Shay, you're working on, for example, Trails Plus grant for Frank Young and other things. are you, asking for input from this committee on those type projects, or is that just village staff working on those grants without our input?
Um, well, the input for the trails, but the village staff, yeah, would be working on the grants and everything. We have to take it to council to get approval to apply for the grant, which I wanted to try to get it on the next, the first meeting in September, because it actually closes on September 30th. So we want to submit it before September 30th. And currently, right now, Julie and I are working on a grant that's due at the end of this month, and that's for the Allen Fields specifically. So that's actually on the council meeting agenda for Tuesday also, to get council to approve applying for that grant for the Allen Fields.
Okay, well, so two-part question then. Does council anticipate, since we're a council appointed and administration appointed committee, do they anticipate us having a review role, an active role in the grant elements and those sort of things? Or not? Because then if so, then their mission should be to provide recommendations to village staff and council on these projects, which changes the purpose.
When it comes to the actual grants, in the past, the committees, I don't think really, I mean, they can help with getting the information together for the grant, but when it comes to applying for the grant, it was usually just done, with the village staff, from what I know.
Do you guys want to, if there's a grant open for Frank Young Trail and the village is working on that, do we want to have a voice in reviewing the narrative, the content? Those pieces, you think that's a legitimate role for our committee? Or we're just gonna say, yeah, we want Frank Young from point A to point B, go put a grant together, and that means we don't know if it's asphalt, concrete, pressure fine, we won't have any knowledge or say in what goes into the grant application.
Seems like, to me, that's the purpose of this committee.
I would agree.
Otherwise, why have this committee?
Matt, what do you think?
I agree with you guys. I think that there should be some input for us, because otherwise, if it's just kind of.
You dropped off. So Shay, would you and Julie be comfortable on, if you're putting the grant application for Frank Young, for example, on September 30th, would you be comfortable where we'd have a role in reviewing that and making suggestions, whether you take them or not, at least we have a say in thinking about that?
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, the committee does have a say, like, in the past, the Trails Committee, when we were working on, getting the Frank Young Trail done, the committee was fully involved with all of that, mapping it out, and, I would try to find the contractors for it, and the committee did have a say on everything. So it's not eliminating you guys from any say on the grants. We fully want the recommendations, like when we present it to council, it's a staff recommendation to, yes or no with what the committee is saying. So yes, the committee definitely has a say in the grant process, with what goes in for applying for the grant, I guess is what I would say.
Right. So
Yeah.
Can we modify that mission purpose to state that provide recommendations to village staff and council? So right now it says provide recommendations to village council regarding promotion, development, and improvement and management, and I'd like to modify that, say provide recommendations to village staff, primarily you, Shay, regarding promotion, development, improvement. So staff and council.
Yeah.
Is Shay not a member of this committee?
She's already on the committee, so she's involved in those recommendations and has them, but I have absolutely no objection to adding the wording, but she's already here anyway. So that, as she, so, because she's part of the committee. So that's,
Yeah, I can support adding staff.
Okay.
yeah,
It's,
but I think it's redundant because she, as a representative to this committee, it's like she's giving recommendations to herself.
I can see both sides. I can see where, if there becomes an issue later on that there's something that leads us down a wrong path, and all of a sudden they don't want to engage us on a certain thing because we're there or not, but this is staff. All right, thank you for that one. And so time commitment is, serves current elected mayor and council. Appointed members should serve at least 2 years. Appointments shall be staggered to continue institutional knowledge. Committee leadership shall rotate every 2 years. Subcommittees may be established with additional people. We meet twice per month, Tuesday morning, Thursday mornings for currently. Meeting times can be modified to accommodate all committee members. Well, members of the committee, I don't have, Ellie, you're not on my group email list because I don't have your email yet.
I can provide that to you.
Thank you. Chris will provide the email. Decisions made by modified consensus, that hasn't changed. The scope changed, from comments from the resort. And it's the second paragraph. In collaboration with Angel Fire Resort, the committee may explore opportunities to enhance visitor safety and green experience on the Greenbelt trails, which are owned or operated by the resort. While the resort is committed to working with the village to improve the overall trail experience, its participation in specific committee endeavors will be considered on a case-by-case basis, ensuring alignment with resort's goals and resources. So that's saying that, they don't have to play with us if they don't feel it's in their interest. Desired outcomes did not change. We still have those as agreed to earlier. And then the reporting plan is briefing the council once per month on key committee actions or decisions, view action items, develop a work plan for each agreed upon internal project. And then we have supporting resource include the village authorizes purchase and reimbursements for committee purposes, and I think that's still being looked into. Village provides online meeting platform and long-term digital storage. So that's what we have for a charter. So besides staff, adding staff, any other edits? Are we comfortable with that? Agreeing to that? Okay,
Yeah, I think we're good.
it'll be submitted and I'll clean that up and send a clean PDF to you on that this morning, Shay, as well.
Fine with the
And to Rocky.
trails fine.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
You have the other, Jackie Farmer, Jenna Pepper's emails. Or missing edits.
I think I have Jackie's, but I could use all three to be sure. So,
I only have Elliot. but I
okay,
can-
can someone get Jackie's and Jenna's emails to me? Anybody have them?
Yeah, I have, Jenna's. I could get that to you.
Okay.
Who contacted Jackie?
I think Jeff did.
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff through, I think Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Eric.
Is that on the AFCO site, their emails?
Okay. All right, I'm done with the charter. Thanks, Matt.
All right, I guess then we can move on to item B, discussion of next steps on the Frank Young extension. I'm not sure who to turn this over to.
Is that gonna depend on grant status? If we haven't even submitted a grant, we really can't do anything until we do.
What we need to do is, come up with you know, a plan for the trail, like, are we gonna want to do it along the easement like it was proposed before? That's pretty much where we're at. We have to come up with the whole plan for how we want to do the trail, and then we submit it along with the grant with amount of money that we're asking for. So that would be the next step, is to actually have, I guess, the trail mapped out so we can submit it for the grant before the 30th of September.
Is that somebody in like trail design would do something like that, engineering?
Well,
Exactly.
that's kind of what I was talking, trying to figure out. Last time we didn't actually have it engineered. We didn't have an engineer do it. We just went along the easement, and that was going to be the plan. So that's kind of where I'm stuck, that I was going to talk with Manager Weir and some other people to see if they wanted us to have it engineered, or if we wanted to just do it like with the youth corps and just have them go right along the easement. So that's kind of something we have to talk about and decide.
And that, whatever the trail map is, that's gonna dictate the cost, I would assume. And so
Yeah.
then, how are you gonna determine cost by the end of September? I mean, you're gonna have to plan the trail first and then get a cost estimate second, and that all has to be done by the end of September.
Yeah. And it's, you know, the cost, excuse me, I did budget some for the trail. So we do have some money right now for the trail also, because I can't remember if the Trails Plus grant is a matching grant or not. So we do have some to start with, and then what we do is we kind of guesstimate to the best that we can with how much more we're going to ask for, and hopefully get awarded with the grant. I do know the bathrooms, because we're trying to include the bathroom in this grant at the end of the trail. And an estimated cost for bathroom that I got from Julie when they put one in an Eagle Nest was about, I think she said like 66,000 just for the bathroom alone. So I do have that amount. The rest would be for the trail itself to get done. I mean, I could get an estimate from the Rocky Mountain Youth Corps again. And then we could also, you know, if we wanted to talk to an engineer, and I guess that's kind of, you know, where we're at with that.
Part of it depends on what the visitor user experience is supposed to be on that trail. And we heard that there's interest in the skate park out at Allen Fields. And some skateboarders might want to carry the skateboards, but most skateboarders will use skateboards as transportation to get to the skate park. So if we really want to put the skate park there, it almost makes sense to put a concrete path out to the school and to the skate park, which then doubles and triples the price. But so we don't even know what the visitor experience, what we would anticipate is who the users are gonna be. Is it kids going to schools? It's moms pushing the kids in strollers to get to other kids to school. There's a lot of variables that we don't know yet that are gonna be into the engineering and design of what this trail looks like. There's always that argument, just put it in there and you can upgrade it later. I'm not a fan of that argument. I like to design it what you want it to be and go towards that goal. But that's just something else to throw into the mix, Shay, and maybe you don't want us involved.
Is this something that could be figured out? Because isn't there next Thursday the comprehensive plan meeting? Is that correct? Do I have that right?
One evening next week, the comp plan committee is gonna talk to all the committee chairs about what goes in the comp plan. And that,
Go ahead, sorry.
well, we're not, the comprehensive plan is not gonna, it's up to the committees to determine the key pieces they're working on that include in the comprehensive plan. So it's up to us to determine, you know, what we go after. So the comp plan, the comp committee would not say, we need a concrete path on Frank Young or whatever, they wouldn't say that at all, that'd be up to our group to determine what the trail experience should be, visitor experience should be on that route.
Right, and I guess what I was thinking was that perhaps after that meeting, after we've heard what everybody else wants, it might give us some guidance on where a skate park might be best suited. You know, if there's opportunity, you know, I guess I'm just curious as to see is like, are we just a little bit ahead of ourselves on trying to get this trail done by the, you know, it's because we don't know, right? Because if we put the skate park somewhere else, then do we need to actually have a full concrete pad all the way out to the school, or vice versa? So I guess I'm just wondering if there's any sort of guidance or information that would help guide us that could be illuminated in the next week or so that might make this conversation easier. And if not, well, then we'll just figure it out.
I don't believe we'll get that level of discussion on that evening conversation. I know
Okay.
we will.
So it does seem like location of the skate park will inform our decision as to where are we with location of the skate park? And does that, this committee's purview?
It does now, since we're
Yeah,
recreating.
we're recreating. So can we simply make that recommendation as that's where we're gonna put it?
Well, they've been putting up a temporary skate park for a couple
The one down here.
Yeah,
Couple of
behind our
seasons.
fire station.
and that one, obviously they've gotten there by walking or driving or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't see how an extension of the Frank Young Trail. To the ball fields.
This is what we.
It's only coming from where the Angels Park Road.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so,
I mean, that's the other thing, you could go off 434, that's sidewalk almost the way out there, another way into the park. So there are other alternatives, so.
So I got a question. Jeff has been talking all along about there being a March 25 deadline for a grant for the Frank Young Trail. Well, all of a sudden now it's September 30th. When did that all change?
Well, I don't know what grant Jeff's talking about unless he knows of a different one, but the Trails Plus grant, yeah, I confirmed that with Rocky yesterday that it is due September 30th. So I'm not sure where the March date came up myself. Because
Is
Rocky and I
Trails Plus-
just been talking about the Trails Plus grant.
Is Trails Plus grant an every 6 months call for projects?
I believe so. It just opened back up July 1st. So maybe every 3 months. I'll have to double check on that. I haven't applied for that one yet. In the past, so I'm not sure about it. It's kind of newer. Where they added the plus onto it.
Right.
I mean, it's just a destination trail. I don't think you need to have an engineer. You're just trying to get to the ball fields and the school. So if you go along the easement,
If we're
it's the
doing,
quickest way.
yeah, if we're doing the easement, then
Yeah.
there's no reason to engineer it.
So that way you'll meet the September deadline and, you know, if you have to do concrete or whatever, you gotta go all the way up Angel Fire Road. Because that's gravel all the way to that bridge. So I think it's just the quickest, cheapest way possible to get it done at that point. It's not a trail I don't think anybody's gonna really enjoy hiking on. It's just they wanna get to the ballpark or they wanna get to the school or the skate rink. That's it. So take the engineering out of it.
That's a valid, just get it done and then,
It's a destination trail. It's not anything.
well, so the destination trail, you can also use transportation money for that. So you could use,
Yeah,
all kinds of transportation alternatives funding for a destination trail, not use rec trails grant money.
If you use pump track, you have to take a bike out there, you can ride a bike on gravel.
Yeah.
And skateboard, you can't. The new skateboards they got now, got a big wheel in the center of it,
Right, and a motor.
and a motor, so. You know, get it done by September, at that point.
Okay. So I'm fine with those alternatives. I was just throwing out some of these ideas that I think
Yeah.
about in
Oh, yeah.
trail design. Shay, I believe the last meeting, you also mentioned that the utility easement was selected because of right-of-way issues if you were up further up on the slope, private property, resort property, other issues that prevented it from being on other alignments.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, it's a lot of, private property and resort property. That's pretty much what it all is. On the easement, we did have to, talk to I forget the name of the ranch, but the ranch people, right. And they're good with it. They gave us permission as long as we put in, a gate, which we had planned on doing, that we could open and close for their cattle.
Nobody's.
And that was the only issue on the easement that we had was, getting permission from them.
okay,
Regardless of the route that we would take, we still crossing that ranch, is that?
yeah, it's CS
It goes all the way. up
Yes,
to-
ranch, yeah.
Right, just because there's a sewer line easement doesn't mean that automatically translates to a trail easement.
Correct.
Say, Shay, they still have to grant,
Yeah,
and basically another easement.
Right,
right,
And there's no way we can get all of those permissions before September. If we're looking for this grant, we really don't have a choice but stick with the current plan of being on the easement. If it's going to be a concrete or other well improved, like Vines trail, then it ought to be on the easement. There's no real reason to be up on the bench anyway.
okay.
wonder if we can include a self-closing gate.
I think those U-shaped.
Yeah, the kissing
probably
gates.
best.
Yeah,
Oh,
You just walk through, even on a bike, you lift it up and go through.
Right.
You're only talking about
right,
so many distance of maybe, what, 40 yards, 30 yards? One gate to the next, get through and then you're done.
okay,
Sky Bridge over top.
There we go.
I mean, as you pass, you up there and that gate's never closed.
right, that's what I was worried about, is,
That would be the problem, if it would be one that required people to close it all the time, it would get leveled. But
Oh, yeah. That guy would be upset.
Yeah,
so those U gates that kind of can't get through or whatever.
Right,
Correct.
and they can be wide enough for a wheelchair or a mobility device.
Yes. Correct.
Cattle guard,
Cattle guard would work too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's an idea. Definitely.
well, if we've got any strollers on it, then that would be a problem.
They're baby teeth, they'll fall out anyway.
Expect them to come out.
Yeah.
this is being recorded.
Yeah.
No, and I think that, let's go big, if that's where we wanna put the skate park, then let's go for, a nice paved trail all the way there for skaters, for strollers, make that the main recreation corridor in Angel Fire.
And a destination trail will get other funding for. All the way from North Angel Fire Road.
But why concrete versus asphalt? Sure,
Sustainability.
Sustainability, less maintenance.
Yeah.
I mean, the prairie dogs will dig through the concrete, the asphalt, and the thistle will come through the asphalt and everything else. So then, if it's on utilities, but then it's still the question is the impacts of heavy equipment in the wetland zone. So if you play that into the factor, then if you've got to get concrete down there, if no one's willing to haul it in small, 1 yard things, which you can do.
Well, we need to get a cost estimate put together
Yeah,
quickly.
And does that ranch want a concrete path through his?
yeah, I don't know.
Probably not.
Cattle probably wouldn't want to
You probably
step on
don't
it.
want, yeah.
You
And
know,
the start of Frank Young also, what's there currently isn't concrete or anything either. So if we did, decide to do concrete up to the Allen Fields, it wouldn't start at actually the beginning of the trail. It would just kind of plop in the middle there. Unless we went and, redid the whole Frank Young Trail, from the Angel Fire Road, but
That might be overreaching a bit.
Yeah, because the distance from 434 where the sidewalk ends. Is there a way to do, extend the sidewalk up, Flamingo Road or whatever to get to Allen Fields there? Is that a shorter route for a sidewalk improvement eventually to the skate park?
maybe, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if we'd be able to do that or not. I'd have to maybe talk to Kurt Epler or, someone in the village and ask him if that would be an option in the future or whatnot. Cause I'm not sure.
Okay,
They don't have a sidewalk on the east side of 434 past the bakery, basically.
right.
Yeah, it's only on that west side.
And that only goes up to. Like,
Post
Zeb's.
office or close to?
No, right there, I think Zeb's, right before Zeb's.
Yeah, I don't think it even gets to the post office. Maybe it does, I don't know.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't get all the way out to the
No.
road.
No.
I mean,
Well, the current sidewalk goes up to Flamingo, doesn't it? On both sides of the road.
it looks like sidewalk,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if we went up to Flamingo and up Flamingo to wherever the Frank Young Trail is going to come through, which is right here. We could access Frank Young Trail from Flamingo.
Yeah.
It's gonna cross it.
Who owns that
And then
property?
does it still have to go across that private land?
Well, it'd be the same,
If we went concrete from Flamingo to,
No, it's there on the road right away. Right there, intersect Frank Young there.
It'd be past the branch.
where would it be past that ranch property that we got across?
this,
Cause it's in between,
this is
Dollar General.
wait, what's,
Well, the, between, one of the Family Dollar stores and that resort is the cattle loading
Right, yeah.
platform that CS Ranch owns, right? That's their,
Yeah, and there's fences going both sides.
Yeah,
all the way up
right.
The hill.
that's
We'll
Hale,
get past that.
that's Hale Pines I'm thinking, have I got the wrong way?
so, couple things, we said we wanted to get stuff done on this committee, not just do paperwork, so and, we seem to have, I think, consensus in the community that Frank Young Extension is one of those pieces that we think is valuable to Allen Fields and the extension of that progress. I'm in favor of moving forward on Frank Young. We've also said that we do have a role in sidewalk. We can coordinate the streets committee on the comp plan and say that we think there ought to be a sidewalk extension into the Allen Fields in that complex there and probably all the way to the school.
And not on Flamingo, but on Hale Pines.
Hale Pines, okay.
Yeah. Hale
Yeah.
Pines.
Which is where the bakery is.
Right, yeah, it
It's
just,
where the,
it'll be just right past the
Dispensaries
police
right there.
department.
Okay,
yeah, it doesn't go past that.
Yeah, so that we've already got existing sidewalk on the north side of Halo Pines, up past the police department.
Right,
So if Frank Young is coming right just just east of the fire department, the police department, then there's not really much additional sidewalk. Is Frank Young gonna be coming through right here? Isn't Google Maps wonderful?
so if we pursue, Shay, if we pursue then Frank Young extension. With a similar style of construction materials. To its destination. It sounds like we should have we're interested, have a walk. Rewalk that corridor along with you and Julie, whoever else, to look at some of the issues, concerns. Opportunities as we put the grant together and maybe have the grant. Criteria and what they're looking for, so as we walk that, we make sure we're all on the same page going forward, so you can get that in by September 30th.
Yeah, definitely need to walk it again, because it's been, you know, what, 4 or 5 years since we've done it, and we did have like little flags out there, but I'm sure those are down. So, yeah, ideally we should, you know, walk it again and kind of mark it, and I can't remember how long it is either, because then we could, I could try to get estimates on, you know, like from example, Rocky Mountain Youth Corps, because they did it originally, and get estimates from them on, you know, how much it would cost to go all the way up, because the one I have is about 5 years old, so I'm sure it's gonna be a different price now.
Yeah. Okay. And do you know if they put like lat screen underneath the crush, or underneath the rock, so the vermin couldn't dig through it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I wasn't a part of that when they did those, so I'm not sure.
Well, then maybe can we put you to, propose a few dates? We can go do a exploratory, reconnaissance, walk along the corridor, look at it.
We can, I mean, I'm around pretty much, so we could just set up a time and let me know, and I'm sure make it work.
Probably the sooner the better.
Right, sometime next week.
There's a bunch of businesses out Flamingo Road. Do we know where the easement through that area?
Well, that's when, I guess when we do our walk along, we'll probably try to figure that out.
Well, it should be I mean, the easement is a matter of record. We need to get that record. of where
Well, Jay,
exactly-
you have the plans from the prior attempt to do this, right? So we
Yeah,
probably have the map showing
For the easements.
where the easements were and where that trail was planned to be constructed.
yeah, it was in the beginning phases, but yeah, I have some pictures and things like that too.
She sent that stuff out in her.
Yeah,
Early stuff.
there was a bunch of pictures with flags, but it was hard
Can't
to
really tell.
make any context.
Right,
That's why.
Because,
Walk is
well,
important.
I mean, it's the sewer line easement, so.
Right.
It goes out to the sewer plant, right?
Right.
Wherever that is. I don't know. I'm not on sewer,
Yeah.
but what they showed was it went straight and then it bent and then came up to the end of,
To the high school.
to the high school, yeah, so it's.
Oh, so you do have a map of.
Yeah, this was what Shay sent out a long time ago.
I mean, doing the walk along, we may not be able to tell exactly
Just
where.
trying to correlate it to what.
So we're gonna propose this out to the high school? or just to the Allen Fields?
Well, originally what we were gonna do was go to the Allen Seals. And then we were gonna talk with the high school about going up there. We were just gonna get it, yeah, because we hadn't got like all the permission from the high school or anything yet. But I know that they were pretty much on board, but we hadn't gone that far yet.
High school is phase 2, sounds like.
Yeah,
Well, this is if Jenna was part of our team, she would probably be promoting it, as we speak.
Problem with this map is it doesn't include all of these business structures on Flamingo Road. In fact, Flamingo Road's not even on the map.
Yeah, it's a whole old map.
So, and we've got to get through that business area that includes turbo tires,
Right.
what rail, welding and services. So there's
So,
Well, we couldn't build on the easement.
So what we have is the old map, we got the pictures, and
Where
we're
does the
just gonna have to kind of
easement
figure it out, I guess.
so-
Yeah.
So walk the trail.
so a recontour is pretty important. I think we should invite the high school to that recon, because they may want to jump right on it. If we can go for a grant to get it to the school, because that shows it's more than one connection, so I think you're gonna score higher than you could show that trail's connecting more than one place. And if the school can use it for transportation, safe transportation, I think that scores more points for us. If I was a grant reviewer and I saw it ending there in the school 100 yards away, that would make me happy as a trail reviewer, as a grant reviewer. So maybe we talk to Jenna and see if she can get the administrator or someone else from the school to go for the recon tour with us.
okay,
Or at least if we're gonna recon it out to the field, have them meet us at the field and see where we go from the field to the high school.
Sure, put something, yeah,
It'd have to be after school.
yeah.
For sure, you were gonna contact Jenna, right? Had you already or not?
I reached out to her, but I hadn't heard anything back, so I was gonna, reach out again here. Today, I kind of forgot that I hadn't heard anything back, so.
I know she has soccer practice and that's after school too.
Right,
Seen them out there practicing too, so,
did they practice at Allen Field?
yes.
Yeah, every day they practice like 4 to 5:30.
I'll go coach him for an afternoon, she can go do that tour.
Line Canaan.
Okay,
So. Am I, correct in saying that basically the committee's in favor of moving forward with the Frank County extension with a similar style construction along the sewer easement? But that we do want to, conduct a recon walk along to further review and make further recommendations.
yes,
Would that be a
right, With-
appropriate?
with
Record in the minutes.
potential extension to the high school.
Yeah.
But we need to, decide on an afternoon date, probably late afternoon. To go over there and look at this thing.
And to give everyone as much time as possible sometime next week.
Yeah.
I'm free by 4, 5 every day.
Great.
What is this big square?
5 o'clock time might be all right, wouldn't it?
Available almost anytime.
Yeah.
I'm retired.
Yeah.
Looks like an old.
Thursday next week works the best, for me, if it's gonna be in the evening.
Thursday,
Yeah, that works best for me.
What day is the week is that?
It's the 29th.
29th.
I've been at the meeting, so.
And
Hey,
that,
the 28th is the meeting with the committee chairs, right, Matt?
it's a Wednesday.
Yeah, it is. It's,
Okay,
Yeah, I just looked. It's the 29th or 28th, that Wednesday,
okay.
and then the council meeting's on Tuesday.
the 27th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd love to try to get the high school just wrapped up in this one as well. I think it's kind of, I don't know, to Attila's point, it looks weird that we would go all the way out there, not just go to the high school. And yeah, I think it's if we can just get it all in one sweep, it might be better than trying to phase it in.
And since the dog park is right there, include that in the plan. Why not? The more destinations you're going to, the better.
Right.
And well, from an adaptive trail perspective, what kind of gate would work? Cause those U ones probably wouldn't work for
Well,
those.
you can make them wide enough to where they can go around.
They can.
Yeah, but if they're wide enough, is the cow gonna be able to go?
Or you got cattle guards too, but.
You know, and
What about the slats in the?
The CS Ranch people wanted like a gate that swings open. You know, so it's like two-sided, like I'm trying to, we had like a little picture drawn of it, but it'll swing open and block it on the sides, and then it'll close it back off to the trail. So it's not gonna have to be opened all the time. It's one that'll pretty much stay for the trail most all the time, except when they have to run their cattle through, then they'll just swing it to block the trail.
Oh,
Always.
So
Does that
they-
make sense?
And so they just wanted two gates, so when they're actually moving cattle or loading cattle, they can actually close off the trail, and we could put signs off that the trail's closed this week
Yes.
for operations. So the trail, the gate would be open majority of the time, except when it's for cattle management purposes.
Correct.
Okay,
okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, we can live with that.
Yeah, that's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so did we decide on a date yet?
Thursday, the 29th at 5 seems to be amenable to most folks.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone say they're not.
Yeah.
Elliot, are you back by then?
He's on mute.
Oh, okay.
I am not back by then. I'll be back the
Okay.
next week, but but I'll watch for your report.
No worries.
And you wanna meet at the meet in that parking lot behind the fire station where we did the weed removal project, meet back there, park there?
Sounds good.
Okay,
Okay. You know where that is, Matt?
I'm sorry, there's some jumble on the audio. Where are we meeting?
we're gonna meet in the parking lot behind the fire station where I think they had the temporary skate park area.
Yep, I know where you're talking about.
Okay,
But can we get through their fence? I don't think there's a gate there now.
Or do we wanna just meet at the one across
This is
the,
barbed wire
across the road
fence.
from the south side of the road from the fire department?
Yeah, 'cause when I bike, I would go over there and there's no
Yeah,
gate there
there's-
currently. Yet pull the fence apart.
This is.
I'm thinking of the lot that's just behind the fire station, that,
Where we did the thistle removal.
Yeah, I get that.
Then walk over to the Frank King.
You're
Yeah,
saying
You
that,
gotta go. through
oh,
fence
so
to
you're
barbed
going
wire.
past that, go past where the trail ends and start
That's what
walking
you're
from
talking
there.
about, right? When you go past where the trail ends.
Yes,
Yeah, so regardless of where we park, we're still gonna have to do what you're talking about.
yeah, go through the fence. Or if you go park at the police station, you don't have to deal with the fence.
Oh.
Then we just have to backtrack to the,
Let's park at the police station then.
Okay.
Make sure your registration's current.
Got a new police chief,
Yeah.
free money.
Yeah.
Okay, so meet at the police
Police
station.
station.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there anything else, Shay, that you can share with us from the, um. From the, other alignment or other work that was done in the past? Have you already shared that with us? Besides those photos?
The photos in this map.
To the map, okay.
Yeah, I think I've shared everything that I have. Uh. I know that there was a better, like, more of a GPS thing that was done. I just don't know where it is. So I'll try to talk to somebody and see if they can locate it. I'll talk to Santos and see if he can find anything. That'll give us a little bit better idea, because I know there was more than just the pictures and everything. I just don't know where it was put. So,
Okay, and, I think we should have a link to the Trails Plus grant. So we can kind of review that and get in mind what it's about, wrap our head around it, so we're thinking about this trail, we can,
Yeah, what
Okay.
are the criteria or that kind of stuff.
would you share that with the group, the Trails Plus grant link?
yeah, I can do that. I can email that out.
Okay.
All right, are we good on this one, on this agenda topic?
I believe so.
All right, excellent. We can move on to the next agenda item, which is, let me pull it up. I want to say it's discussion of the results with Lauren Bell and the ECTA and next steps. Well, do we have, what's everyone's opinion about the presentation? I guess we can start there.
The,
That one.
I'm glad that we kind of settled on a charter that explains that we're here to be making recommendations, not doing that much work. And that organization is one that would be, you know, they're a builder. Whether they end up building, whether that's an option to build the Frank County extension or the what is this youth core one, whatever one she's been talking about, I'm not familiar with that one. But
What, no, when you say they're a builder, I
They're
don't
not.
think, they're just a liaison. They were like, if we wanted, like,
I
if
thought they
we were starting from scratch and we had, well, who builds trails? We could go to ECTA and say, who do you guys, you know, here's what we're wanting to do. Do you guys have people that you recommend to build trails or design trails? You know, they provide input, but they're not gonna do any hands-on work.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, their goal primarily is to implement the Enchanted Circle Trails Plan from 2017, 2018 that Trust Public Land and Taos Land Trust and others did, and Park Service was involved in that. So their goal is to implement that plan. And there were a number of alignments in Angel Fire that were not the highest priorities, because as I said before, no one showed up at that final voting meeting that they had. But there are elements that we have in here, stuff up on the past that's been, you know, that we were very interested in. So they can support stuff we care about.
Right, I mean, they can help with a grant for Frank County Extension if the village didn't already have that.
They can liaison with the
capability.
youth corps to get youth corps labor. They can help to get things organized to make it happen. But they're not gonna provide it.
Well. Then what are they adding that we don't already have, I guess?
I think one of the things that one of the services and benefits that I see is that they focus and specialize in recreational grants. And so like Rocky only has so many hours a day, and he's going to be pulled in a million different directions by a million different competing interests. What, right? Because isn't that the government's the distribution of scarce resources? So I think that one of the big benefits that they do provide is that if, let's say that, what was that contract for, $12,000?
Yes.
Was that? And so so the way I've been looking at it is that if we pay them $12,000 and he helps us secure $50,000 in grant money, well, that's money well spent. If he goes and helps us secure maybe $250,000, if we're super lucky, from a bunch of different pieces, well, that's a great return on investment. And I think that it is beneficial having somebody that has those relationships and knows the ins and outs of it.
If you look in the service agreement number 6, it says assist in pursuing funding for trail planning and development from local, state, federal for grants. What's the assist? What does that mean? So I know there's only 2 full-time people and one of them is in the field. So that comes down to Lauren. How much assistance does it provide enough to, return on investment on the 12,000? There's other things here too, 2, 3, and 4, like work, service liaison, consult, and work with the village staff. So it's kind of like a partnership of, but like we said, they don't really do anything.
They're almost like
So
committed.
They're another, they understand trails and understand the whole concept of trail design and sustainability. So they would be a partner in helping, I guess, guide us in different directions.
So if I understand that correctly, Warren wouldn't actually be the point applying for grants, but then he would be assisting like Julie and Rocky in our office trying to get grants. Is that right?
I'd have to get clarification. I'm not sure what assist means.
He writes grants, but if it's, he writes grants for the specific trails of the ECTA. And our trails are not ECTA trails. So
They are, because of the trails within the Enchanted Circle Trails Plan.
Right.
are they, is Frank
Yeah,
in the Enchanted Circle Trail Plan? Okay, I didn't.
But his experience would be the relationship he already has with different organizations, either
And the
trail
grant
design builders or grants or federal.
Yes,
Cause the guy who started ECTA is actually down in Santa Fe. So he has that relationship already, so he can maybe get things done a little quicker for us.
I mean, and they probably he wouldn't like write a grant for the village of Angel Fire to do Frank Young. I mean, if he knows village has a grant writer, they would probably offer to provide assistance.
Yeah. Here's how you write it.
But he could, as a neutral party, let's say we wanna do something that's gonna connect to the forest boundary that is, never very clear. He, as a neutral party, could facilitate the resort, the village, us,
I think
the
that's.
Forest Service and others to think, how do we do
Right.
this and what does a grant look
Right,
like?
so like Frank Young Trails completely within the village. But I think when you get into these other ones where you gotta coordinate between resort, village, national forest. That's where I think they really would come in, cause they know all the players and know how to coordinate
Right.
that kind of stuff.
And if we wanted a grant, to do, an accessibility, evaluation of everything, for adaptive adventure stuff, to really market it that way, I'm sure that's a grant he could be easily writing as well. So to find someone to do that work for us, and the resort probably go along with that if it was just getting money to help evaluate these trails. So.
And I think the other thing they would do is like, probably because they did this up in Red River, they got a nice kiosk up there of all the Enchanted Circle trails, so they would, I imagine if we
Yeah.
paid them the $12,000, they would offer to build one of these down
Yeah.
here, probably there like by Deer Trail. that would not just show the trails within Angel Fire, but show all the kind of enchanted circle trails.
Cause the trail promotion on here has update distribute, these are brochures throughout the region.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for 1 year, you can extend it longer, but 1 year we can see what we're getting for our 1 year and analyze it and see if it's worth extending it another year or so.
As I see, the primary benefit is supporting an organization that builds trails in the area and helps to promote recreation and trails in the area. Not necessarily our own trails, but the area trails. And we're supporting an organization that helps support that. So
I think, I mean, it sounds like, there's kind of general support of our. Committee to recommend this to the council for this 1 year contract. But if I were on the council, I would want to understand some concrete benefits.
Some deliverables.
Or something that, how exactly are they gonna work with? Or Shay or something. Or that's part of, still a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's outrageous to try to get with Lauren, and because I can't remember if he did give us like some actual concrete deliverables, but I don't think that that's outrageous to ask. It's like, if we do give you the $12,000, we're going to need to, I understand that you're going to help and assist with certain things, but what do we know that you're like, what can you guarantee that we're going to get for 12 grand?
So we did ask him to give us some deliverables, and what I had written down is they provide the trail master training once a year. They work on, I guess, adaptive trail assessments, trail promotion, trailhead signage, a trailhead regional map, which I think is what I was just talking about, that kiosk like Red River has. Outreach for trail maintenance. And that's where, again, they don't do the trail maintenance, but they will solicit volunteers to work on trail maintenance. Then the other deliverables is that they're at the table with the Forest Service. And that they leverage entities to go after money. And you mentioned they have obtained 1.2 million in grants to date.
I don't remember if any of the other communities, whether Taos County or Red River are contracting with them right now. I think they're mostly living off of Forest Service BLM funds.
Yeah, I think we kind of tried to ask him, I think he danced around that issue a little bit.
Yeah.
well,
Because that's what, I hate to see Angel Fire put in money and then the other communities not put in the money.
Yeah,
And then he kind of switched gears to this Council of Governments, where he said, ideally they would get their funding through Council of Governments, but that hasn't happened yet. But he really wasn't all that specific on who they're getting money from.
it seems like there should be a presentation. I believe the Enchanted Circle mayors meet annually or every couple of months or something. It seems to me that he should do a presentation to the mayor of Red River and Taos and Eagle Nest and Angel Fire, or the administrators, and talk about how this group could further the recreation tourism angle in the region. So, and at the same time, we can be thinking about what we want out of that. So if there is a aha moment, we'd be ready to deliver to the council. Here's what recommendations from our committee on how this could advance trail motion development in the village area and the resort.
Yeah, because I think if we approve this $12,000 and give it to them, but then we don't like kind of press the ECTA, what are you? What are you gonna do for us, or here's what we would like to see you do? I think then it's nothing,
Well, it'd be-
it doesn't change much then if we don't give them the $12,000.
It'd be interesting to find if because they had this agreement with Red River, that kiosk went up.
Yeah, I think that's what he, yeah.
That would be, something very concrete that you would say that, a benefit, whether it's at Frontier Park or Deer, wherever it is, that would be a real benefit to us.
Mhm.
I mean, the 15 things they're working on, one of them is Quest to Red River Trail.
Right.
Right,
And so, they're all over the place, Tall Bridge, Horse Thief. So I would think some of those communities are participating with either funds or resources of some kind.
And he does have an interest in getting over on to work on this side of the mountain, right?
Yes.
Top of the pass, so.
Yeah.
is there a need to get, another discussion with Lauren, maybe to get some deliverables before we make a recommendation to the council or staff? I guess the other question I would have, and maybe Shay could tell us, does the village have $12,000?
Yeah, we just barking up a.
What, I mean, what kind of funding, would this come out of lodger's tax?
I would think.
Hmm,
Yeah, I mean, there is lodger's tax, and I wasn't at the meeting with, to see his presentation, so I don't know exactly, but the village does have some money and it has, lodger's tax, and I've also budgeted, some money for some things too, so I don't think it's not doable.
So should we come up with a wish list of things we think ECTA could support and then see if that. We continue this conversation next meeting, or we talk about it during our walk next week? What are some things, Shay, you have on your list that you think ECTA could support? Through grants or staff time or coordination or collaboration? And we come up with a list and see if that makes sense to them and to say, yeah, that's worth this piece, this much money to get it done. If it advances our cause and our interests and our mission.
I assume I understand, Shay, you didn't see the presentation, but you did get the material, right? Because that was passed out to everyone, right?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know that, the new folks, Elliot probably hasn't received it, but
And Shay, were
I think I
you,
got it, yeah.
and were you, I mean, they had paid us, or the village had paid ECTA money in the past. Were you aware of that?
No,
It was,
I think there was,
2019.
yeah, there was a prior contract that I think they did pay.
But I don't know if they extended it. If they extended it for 5 years, it would have ended just this past May.
Yeah, which I,
yeah, that was under Barbara Cotton
Yeah.
as mayor. 2019.
That's not something we ever discussed in that committee before.
Yeah. So, being for that 1 year of 2019,
I won't even talk about it then.
what kind of benefits did Angel Farm receive from that? I mean,
No clue, because the Trails Committee wasn't involved in
yeah.
that.
yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Huh,
That'll argue the point.
That is a
Yeah.
point.
Exactly.
That contract that they had with that to bypass the Trail Committee, and therefore nothing ever happened.
committee didn't even know it existed.
Committee didn't know it existed.
huh.
So we get 12 grand back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any kiosk here, do we?
Yeah.
So our first task is to kind of develop that wish list of how we think, what we want to get done, regardless of ECTA is there or not, but what are the projects that we need additional support on. And then then we schedule a follow-up with Lauren, either it's a one-on-one or a group call with him. And the village, and here's some projects we wanna advance. You know, what, and give him time to review that in advance,
Right,
probably come back
right.
with a proposal to us.
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
But do we, does someone need to come up with the queries that we wanna ask Lauren?
Lonnie, wanna take lead on this project? Kind of coordinate the wish list from all of us, and then we can work with him on a proposal.
I don't have any ongoing relationship with him.
Well, the first of his relationship with us is develop that, collect that wish list. Let's take on that task of through Shay and recreation and trails and maybe even the resort. Things that we might need support with, so we can prepare this list and we can review it, and then we can coordinate, deliver that to Lauren, then a
Yeah,
follow-up call.
I'm just not sure that I'm the right person to collect that.
Want to take that on?
Well, I'd be working with John, because John actually has the relationship with Lauren. Right?
Well, the first part is internal.
Wanna get it.
Wish
first one is
list,
internal for us.
That person's not gonna go
Yeah.
to Lauren, it's just gonna compile.
The
So
first
when we
part is
send
just-
when we send our comments, we need to
Right,
send them to somebody
sure,
to
yeah,
compile them.
I'd be happy to do that.
okay. So it's just like, let's just, and we can probably give that a month time, but start
Okay, so we're not talking about getting that in time for this.
September 30th?
Right,
No,
No, I mean,
all we're saying right now is that, to follow up with Lauren. I think we've agreed, our consensus on the idea that we need to come up with a list of. Potential projects that ECTA could support, whether it's staff time or grant writing or connections. Whatever we think and he thinks is worth $12,000 or so forth, so. Could be the resort projects, could be our project, could be something connecting with the forest. So this list would then, we make sure it's pretty well fleshed out. We take that to Lauren and we can give him time to review and come up with a response on. Yeah, these 8 things I could help you with for $12,000, and the return on investment on grants, whatever, it could be worth this much. So all right now, we're looking for is someone.
What would be some examples that, I mean, like the kiosk, for instance?
Then I think another one would be like access points into the national forest from Maynard
Yeah.
Fire, like at Via Del Rey, the power lines.
Rural promotion.
Trail promotion,
Trail promotion, adaptive.
adaptive evaluation of everything here.
See, I think we're completing, we're putting together a list
Yeah.
as we go. Grant writing for,
And I think this could be a task that we just provide, if you're gonna take that on now, or you guys work together, but Lonnie, if you wanna take that. You just put a call out to us on the group things, give me your ideas of where we think we need support, and let's compile a list, review it. And agree to that, and then we'll say, okay, here's, and Shay's a big part of that too, then one of us, gonna be you, can deliver it to Lauren for,
part of the problem is I'm about to disappear, again, so that's why I'm kind of going like, if we've got any kind of deadline on this. I'm not gonna be able to do
when
it.
are you disappearing again?
We're leaving on the about the 20th of September. And we'll be
So
gone.
let's say September 15th, that gives us
Mhm.
3 weeks to compile a list. You do it. You've already had half a list there, so it's.
Yeah, that's what.
You're probably not gonna get any more ideas.
Yeah, you'll probably get a few more. I think Shay's got some things in her head
Yeah,
that
yeah.
might support
Yeah.
it, so.
So we're good. Everybody just sent ideas to Lon and.
Yeah,
Lonnie to compile,
okay,
project ideas. That could be supported by ECTA.
right.
Anybody have any other ones real quick right now off the top of their head? Some writing stuff down. Do we have any other future trails that we are wanting specific? Wanting to explore specifically?
Well, I think they could review probably our plan that we talked about going to RV park and all these other things, Lady Slipper. Access, you can look at the whole plan and see if that's gonna be something that. What he can do for us and.
He could also facilitate a community workshop on all the trails related stuff for us. That's a neutral party coming in and do it, not just
Yeah.
us, but
Probably work with the resort too.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure he's had relationships with him before. I know he knows Patrick and they had the adaptive trail. What, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
yeah.
And
When
they were coming
Dustin
down
Berg
the
was
hill.
here.
They were coming down the hill. That's like, whew.
And they were having a blast.
Hey, oh yeah, these guys are. They're animals. Wore me out.
All right, so September 15th will, your deliverable, but be a, you know, kind of a fleshed out list of potential projects that I think is important.
I think also we, wanna ask, you might as well just throw everything in on this, you know, what happened during the resolution of 2019?
Yeah,
Um,
what was to deliver for that, right?
yeah,
Well, I did ask him and he said he wasn't involved because the other guy. that
Carl
moved
Colonius
is-
was running it.
He was the one running it. So he was more of the, I guess, part timer that.
Because Lauren was the president of Del Norte Mountain Bike Alliance, I think, or whatever Taos Mountain Bike Alliance was. I think he was
Yes, yes.
in that role there.
Um,
The promotion piece, we should probably talk to Greg Ralph, Tourism Department. We might have some thoughts too. He's the guy running tourism.
so in this draft contract for the $12,000, they've got a scope of services. And it's on page 1 and it says trail development and it says it's gonna. They gave specific things they were gonna work on. Which some of them are really not, Angel Fire specific, but one of them was Angel Fire National Forest Access Trails. Ho Chi Minh Girl Scout, Elliott Barker Access, etc. And I got these other things that are not.
Except when I talked with Craig, which is from Forest Service,
So,
And Greg Thompson.
so that's probably not a direction we want to pursue. Simply because if there's a one-to-one agreement of any trail that that the Forest Service incorporates into their trail plan, they have to have a motorized vehicle trail also going in, so they would have to turn in half of those trails into ATV, UTV trails.
That doesn't sound right.
That's what he said.
well, see, that's something though that, I mean, even if we have Act to look into it, then they can coordinate with everybody and come back and tell us. It's either feasible, not feasible, or if it's feasible, here's what you'd have to do, you know. Put the burden on them to
All those
check
are-
into all that stuff.
All of those are unauthorized trails.
Right,
Yeah,
well,
over system trails. Just because it becomes a system trail doesn't mean that they automatically have to have a 50-50 split between motorized and non-motorized. That's not forest law.
yeah,
That's Greg was saying, so.
well.
but it'd be good to know,
for us.
Yeah.
they can figure that out for us.
Mhm. Okay, I think we're good on that. Matt, I think we got September 15th deadline for submitting ideas. Lonnie's gonna provide September 15th, will provide us a
This is the only thing.
list of potential projects Exit could support.
This is access trails.
Yeah.
And I sent
Okay, excellent.
some thoughts on that.
Okay. I don't know if the Girl Scout.
No, that doesn't, no. that
I
doesn't.
don't think they-
10:30.
It's 10:30.
The Girl Scouts have it.
All right,
Next-
well, let's move on and figure out next location and time and call this meeting adjourned. Are we okay with, I guess, what is 2 weeks from today?
September 5th, I think.
Yeah, 5th.
Do we want to do the 5th or the 12th?
Why would we?
Well, just because I remember that we were talking about it was just 2 Thursdays a month. I didn't know if we wanted to get on a schedule or we'd meet on the 2nd and 4th, 1st or 3rd, or if we're just doing every 2 weeks right now.
I would opt for every 2 weeks for right now until then.
Especially with this Frank Young thing.
Yeah, Frank Young might need us more time for that.
Okay, copy that. Well, then we'll just do we'll just meet at 9 o'clock on the 5th.
And do we want to continue to meet at the community center, or does it make sense to meet here where we can do the Zoom calls easier?
So we have to get on-
I get,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably more flexible or easier at the community center.
Oh. Well, the Zoom feature is very nice. I know I've used it and, well, we got 3 folks using it today, so.
yeah. I mean, if it's possible for us to try to meet at Village Hall, the Zoom feature is pretty nice versus having some cell phones on the table. It seems like there's more participation from the Zoom than the cell phones.
Agreed.
So who schedules this date and time? Do we
I
just-
can reach out to Rocky.
Okay.
And I'm just curious on Zoom now, are you just hearing our audio or are you seeing us?
I
visually?
see y'all. Yeah, I can see you guys as well.
I see you guys, yeah.
Okay,
So,
probably a little nicer than
Yeah.
just the cell phones on the table.
so when these things are booked, well, we had a problem one time when we were booked and then we got moved or something.
Well, yeah, but that was a we were doing that conference with Lauren
Oh,
and it wasn't,
wasn't right, the Trails Committee.
yeah, so I think, I don't know if the.
Okay.
Every other week on Thursday works here or not, but I can't remember what day of the week that happened to be on.
Right, okay. Yeah. Okay,
So Shay, could you check with Rocky and see if we could schedule every other Thursday from 5th through maybe at least the end of October and schedule that 9 to 10:30 period for us?
Yeah, I'll check with them and I'll let you guys all know, and I'll just see if it can be a regular thing through October, you said?
Yeah, I think that at least the end of October would be a good time period for right now.
Okay,
So what are some agenda topics for our next meeting? I have one, next week, all the committee chairs. There's like a dozen committees now active in the village, dark skies and wetlands and streets and God knows what else. Public health one. We're all gonna convene those committee chairs at the brewery from 5 to 7, 5:30 to 7 and talk about the comprehensive plan. And what pieces they're gonna be responsible for. So we will have responsibility for providing content to the comprehensive plan. Matt, you're gonna make that meeting, correct? He's muted. You're muted.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, I plan on making that meeting. Do we need to get together before then and actually figure out what we're gonna present to them?
We're not gonna present much. We're gonna be talking to you mostly on that one.
Okay,
Well-
copy.
There's like a 6-month time period to get stuff done, so it's not like we're throwing immediate stuff at you. But I think we will have some conversation about this at our next meeting, so I think comp plan ought to be a topic for us at our next meeting.
I
Okay.
think further discussion on Frank Young.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Shay, anything else on your mind that we need to talk about recreation wise?
Well, we could, probably talk about the status of the grant that we're gonna try to apply for. Or
For the
we are
Frankie-
planning on applying for, yeah.
That is part of that.
Yeah,
Well, the grant that you're applying for end of August is a recreational grant.
that's the one for the,
Okay, the August grant.
Yeah, yeah, that's just for the Allen Fields, yeah.
Is that under our purview or not?
it is now.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you could bring us up to date on that in the meeting.
Yeah, home fields.
Since I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, well,
So-
recreation is now under our purview.
So that grant will have been already applied for by our next meeting, so you're
Right.
just gonna brief us on
What it is.
what it
What we
was.
agree to. right?
Yeah.
What it is.
Yeah, that grant just came up. It's a new grant and, literally Julie found out about it in a meeting at the beginning of August and they said it's due August 30th. So it's one of those that just kind of was thrown our way and, we actually got together yesterday and put together a bunch of numbers and, we're shooting for a lot just to see what we can get. So I can give you guys an update on what
Okay.
we are
That'd be
submitting.
one-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Those are 3 topics. That's enough with update on our action items. All right.
All right, well, I guess if everyone's all good, we can call this meeting adjourned.
okay.
I will
Right.
send out, to the group again, I updated the recreation charter excerpts from the village comprehensive plan. I've got 5 copies here I printed, so this is what's in the comprehensive plan that relates to trails or, recreation. So 3 pages, and I went through the whole plan and, anything that said trails, recreational, did a word search for everything. And now you can see, the goals, action items, implementation strategies that were in a 2008 plan. This is something we'll be talking about next week and I'll share that electronically, with everybody.
I think you've already shared.
I
this.
shared that when it's only trails related.
Oh,
We included a recreation now, it's been
okay,
updated to include recreation.
okay, thanks for the clarification.
Sure. So it was shared before just trails, now it's our broader mission scope.
Is a SWOT analysis.
Strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats.
Threats.
Well, organizational threats,
Before.
well, organizational threat, like another company's gonna come in and do what we're doing would be a threat to. Our threats could be, a wildfire threat could be a threat to us and it burns everything up. So the earlier plan did a SWOT analysis on the whole thing. I'm suggesting we do a SWOT analysis on village government, village operations only as a comp plan, committee member, not on everything. Just how the village works. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you all.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's Thursday at 5 o'clock, huh? At the police station.
Yeah. I just put my notes. I don't want. Okay,
That's him on mine.
thank you.
Yeah.
Good conversation.
Yeah. This is what they're saying.
Oh, okay.
And